Okay, hello guys, welcome to another segment of our PHP series. So in this series, you are going to learn everything you need to be a PHP developer, everything you usually need, everything you need. So in our previous videos, we've looked at how to create our sign up page, how to create our database connection, and how to create our function that we handle user registration, that we're able to store a user input in our database. That's the CRUD. The first one is that's CRUD, create, read, update, and delete. So we've passed the first stage, which is the create. So we are going to create a user in our database already. So the next one right now is we are going to log in this user. So that whenever a user come to our form here and try to log in, it will be successful. So let's come over here. Let's create an if statement again. So it will be under this first if statement. Let's create another if statement. So this if statement is going to collect the login detail. That's this part where you have your login, just login form. It's going to collect this login detail. So under this place where you have action, let's change it to sign up signup.php, because that's where we have our our query that we our query that was we built to log in the user. So having done so, let's now use our assets underscore post. So if this button is clicked, this submit button, let's change it to login actually, so we can understand it. Let's change it to login. Let's change to login. So let's change this name to what, to login. Login. So if this login button is clicked, we want some certain things to happen. If this login button is clicked, let's want the code here to echo something first, so we can understand that what we are doing is working perfectly well. Login, let's say login button clicked. So let's go and see if what we did is correct. Let's just enter a random email. Let's say user at gmail.com 12345. Oh, I want it to come down. 12345. So let's just submit this. Okay, I think something is happening wrong. Okay, let's change this post. Let's capitalize this. Let's cut this. Let's change that to post, and hope what we wrote here is correct. Login, and so let's go back. Let's send it now. Okay, I think something is wrong somewhere. It should. Okay. Okay, so it's working perfectly well now. So once you click, it says what login button was clicked. So it means our stuff is working perfectly well. Let's cancel this. Let's just clean this on. Let's reload this. Oof. Okay, so it means what we wrote here is what's correct. So what we're going to do next is let's come down, let's create another function So one thing is I love using functions because it make me understand everything I'm doing. So in case there's mistake, I know where to actually go. Although there are other ways of doing this, but for me personally, I prefer to use functions. Let's create another function. Let's call this function the login. Let's call this one the login function. So just like the sign up, we are still going to check if the user exists before we are going to log them in. So once the user exists, before we can try to log the users in. So we are going to come here and say let's create a query. Query sq underscore user, that's u underscore u. Select all from register. I think there's a mistake here. Select all from register, where the where the full name is equal to, okay, there's something we did not do. First of all, we echo this stuff, but we are supposed to get the user input. We are supposed to get this email and this password, so we can use it to log them in. Let's create a variable here. Let's call it user. I really like using user underscore name. Okay, underscore post. So okay, it's email. I'm going to change that now to email, so we get this clearly. This is email. So this is user email. Let's make it user email. User email. And let's create another variable for the password. User underscore password. So the password, let's get the login pass. Use the attribute name to get the login pass. Login pass. I think everything is working correctly now. So let's come here. We are not using the full name, so we are using the email. So let's remove this. We don't need this actually. We are using the user email and user password, where user password in user underscore email is equal to whatever thing the user is going to enter as their email here. So now let's create a query for this first. Let's create a query called results underscore user. I'm using the use to signify the word the user. So it's MySQL underscore query. So this query is going to have our connection and our query name, which is this, so that's that for that. So let's check if the password is also correct. Let's create another query now for the password. Let's say SQL underscore pass. Let's use the P to represent the password and say select all from register where user password, user underscore password. So this user password is coming from our database table, which is this. That's where I got this user password from. User password is equal to whatever thing the user is going to enter as their password here. So that's the user password. So let's create a query for this. Let's say result to result underscore pass, that's p, is equal to my SQLi underscore query. So the query is going to have a connection and our query name, which is what SQL underscore p. So this is this. So what we are going to do right now is just like our sign up function, this email and this connect is going to be having errors later. Why? Because it's not yet in the global. You can see right now it's having the error undefined unassigned variable. We don't want to use the global scope to say to tell it about to be global. Let's say on which that thing and getting a get user password. So we have to get this and put it in global scope so it can be available anywhere in our work. So we solve that issue now. So what we're going to do next is we are going to write the command for the login. So we are going to use a while loop to look through our database to see if this input actually exists in our database. So we are going to do it just though we did the sign up function. So let me please say this: if you're not going through the previous video, we talked about the sign up function, where we create a function to sign up our user or register our user. I will encourage you to do so. I will drop the link in the description of this video so you can go through it. So let's use a while loop and okay, before we use the while loop, there's something we have to first of all do. We have to first of all create if statements and say MySQLi underscore num underscore rows results this is greater than 0 and my SQLi underscore num rows, and let's do this password. If this is also greater than 0, so we want to use the while loop to go through our table in our database, and let's create another variable here. So this is why we're creating this variable, so that we can use it later to echo out the different the different user data that is going to enter in our form. SQLi underscore fetch underscore our source now. Okay, I didn't put equal to here. Equal to our source, and so what we're going to put here, we're going to put our user, so we can get. So we are going to do this now. I think what we have done so far is correct. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to use sessions. So let's come here and start our session here. Let's start our session. So let's say session underscore starts. Let's start our session here. So the reason why I started our session here is because we want to do some settings right now. We want to for echo at. Okay, we don't really need to start our session here though, but I want us to echo at the the ID of each user once it is there. So I'm going to use this data variable we created and say echo at data. So echo at the data that is having the ID of the user. This ID of the user. So echo at the user underscore ID. You should echo this one at. You should also echo at some other things like the user email and full name. Let's say full name and user email. So you should echo at this. So I hope you understand what I did here. So once a user would come here and enter their inputs in in our login form, it should echo at their ID, full name and email. So let's check if what we did right now is what's correct. Let's reload this. I think we have this one here, students@gmail.com. students@gmail.com. Password is 12345. So let's try and log this person in. Okay, I think there is an error here. I think there's an error coming up here. So because what we ought to have is we ought to have our user ID, full name and email being echoed at. We have this to be echoed at. Okay, I think there's something we did that is quite not correct. Okay, let me remove this echo. I think we shouldn't echo this yet. Let's say let's create a variable for this first. Let's say user name. I want to just comment these ones at first so we don't get ourselves confused. Let's comment these things at. So let's come to this part after the y. After the y, let's combine it, and I think we should use the session here. Let's use the session. Okay, let's use our session. Let's see underscore ID. So let's come down here and let's now use this session towards echo at this. Let's echo at this. Let's echo at this now. So I think this should work. This should not bring any error. So also hope everything we did is correct here. Okay, as you can see, something is wrong here. Let's enter the students. Okay, what is happening? So there's something we are doing that is quite not correct. Okay, I think let's go through our code again. Okay, I see where the problem is coming from. We created our function, but we are not using the function yet, so that's why we are not using this function yet. So we have to come up to this place here, this second if statement, and use our login function here. So that's where our error is coming from. So afterwards writing our function, we forgot to declare our function here. We forgot to use our function in this if the login button is pressed. So that's why I notice what's coming up. So let's come over here and let's go back. Let's try and log in again. Okay, so now the error is coming up correctly. Said expect one parameter to be SQLi result boolean line 56. Let's check what's happening. Line 56. So line 56. So it said it's expecting 1 not 2. Okay. So this line 56, what we did here is not correct. So it said it's not correct. Okay, it said it's expected number MySQL num rows expected one parameter to expect parameter 1 to be MySQL results. Okay.